Greetings and nerds, I'm Ladies Universe and Mike Nerdy, and I'm pretty sure that this manga needs no introduction, and I teased this a couple of years ago, and I've always meant to go back and review it, so what better time to do it than right now? My Hero Academia. Created by Koi Horikoshi, My Hero Academia was a pretty successful and long-running series. I think it started in 2014 and ran into about 2024 or 2023, so about a 9 to 10 year long run, which is pretty good for a manga series. Horikoshi kind of tooted his horn a little bit at first and going, I'm gonna beat Ishiro Oda at One Piece. Probably began to understand that maybe calling out Ishiro Oda for, this was not his smartest idea. But we have here My Hero Academia, a very successful run by Koi Horikoshi. For those of you that don't know, My Hero Academia is pretty much a series of basically like what if a person existed in the a superhero universe, and what would their adventures be like? It's a really interesting concept, and that's the concept that got me into My Hero Academia because I grew up with a bunch of superheroes in my time, especially still nowadays, and it just makes me so happy to know that there's still great things coming out like this, And I've admitted this before, but when I would say a younger kid between the years of 10 to 13, I would create my own superheroes. I would create my own superheroes and do my own comic book type of business, and I still do it for fun nowadays, and it's just a really fun and enjoyable thing to do. And yet, here's a manga series with a dude that just decided to carry this weight with him and just roll with the ball as he was going with it. So, what makes My Hero Academia so popular, and why is it so remembered, and why is it so well talked about? Well, let's dive into My Hero Academia Volume 1, and I'll tell you. And despite me being a fan of this, I am still gonna snark, make jokes and whatnot, so just bear with me if you will. But let's dive into My Hero Academia Volume 1 and see exactly where the series goes from here. This cover is beautiful and I love it. The homage to comic books, the beautiful cover with a bunch of characters in the background that are later on going to be shown in this issue, and what is a little bit of on the nose foreshadowing for our hero Deku there. We'll talk more about him later. But just the bright colors and everything, the old comic book homage, yeah, it really pulls you in. It's so much like a comic book that on the back of it, aside from the blurb about what's happening, there's a fake ad. Like you would see on the back of comic books, like advertisement. That is just creative. We begin with the dialogue by Izuku Midoriya. It all began in Keka City in China, with the news of a bioluminescent baby was born. After that, exceptional individuals began popping up all over the world. The cause was unclear. Time passed, and the exceptional became the norm. Fantasy became reality. At the present, 80% of the world population consists of superhumans with special abilities. The world is in chaos, and the profession that everyone once dreamed about entered the spotlight. As we begin to see a bunch of superheroes going up after a big giant shark creature thing, maybe straight out of Pacific Rim, I don't know. So we have Kamui Man, who is basically like a ninja combined with trees, so think like poison ivy, I suppose. As Izuku is happy and excited to see this all thrown out in front of him. That is until a superhero, known as Mountain Girl, or Mountain Lady, basically attacks, and everybody's looking because... yeah, the less said the better. As Izuku is happy about the light that becomes of it, the fame and the glory that comes after that. And he even mentions the pay these heroes receive from the government, as everybody wants to become a superhero and join the superhero academy, and everybody is expected to be a great hero. all except for Izuku Midoriya. See, Izuku was born the son of two superpowered beings, and yet because of this, he possesses no superpower abilities, but he's obsessed with superheroes to the point where he wants to be one, even though he knows that deep down inside that it's not possible. And even his mother points out that his mother is telekinetic and that his father is a fire breather. But yet, in regard to this, very similar to X-Men, this means Izuku will not have powers, which means his dream of becoming a superhero is pretty much down in the dump. Well, it would be, except for the fact that he was saved by his favorite superhero, All Might. Think of All Might like a pastiche of Superman. Basically, he's been around for a long time. He's been a superhero for a long time. And yet, what's worse is that the goo monster, whatever that it is, attacked one of his old friends, Bakugo. And what's worse about this is that while Izuku talking to All Might, he tells him about how much that he looks up to him, how awesome that he thinks that All Might is, until All Might, well, turns into that. And Izuku cannot believe his eyes. I am All Might. No way! You know how people hold a gun at the pool? It's like that. No way! A foolish smile, huh? You've seen the real me, kid, but don't write it off on the internet, okay? No way! And he even showed them an injury that he got 5 years ago. An enemy did this to me. Look! My respiratory system is nearly destroyed, and my stomach was removed. I've wasted away because of the after effects of the surgeries. I can only do my hero work for about 3 hours a day now. Basically referencing that because of his injuries, he's not as great as he used to be. But what's more is that he knows that evil must be stopped, and that he will fight evil, even if he can only do it for a short time every day. Walking back home after talking to All Might, he notices that Bakugo has formed with this monstrous creature, and he tries to go in and save him even though he knows that there is nothing that he can do. But he still shows some bravery, showing the might of a hero, and even tries to save his friend, even though that he realizes that he is screwed. Even oncoming heroes try to help. That is until All Might smashes the poor creature into bits, saving Bakugo in the process, and impressing Deku because Deku is fanboy and all that. What's more is that All Might tell Deku a little secret. I believe you're worthy of inheriting my power. What's that face for? This is a proposal. The real work begins here. Listen, my boy. I'm asking you if you want to try to accept my power. His power? What's All Might saying? This concerns my quirk, kid. The tabloids like to get the super strength or boost power, and I avoid the question in interviews by making jokes, because All Might, the symbol of peace, has come off as a natural-born hero. But my quirk, it would pass down to me like the Olympic torch, basically honoring that All Might is pretty much like a legacy hero, and he's a parody of such. And what's more is that he has the ability One for All that he can pass down to anyone that he chooses. You really doubt me that much? Nonsense! I have many secrets, but I never lie. I have the ability to transfer power. That is the quirk I inherited called All for One. And thus he picked Deku to adapt his abilities, because he saw the call of a hero that Deku has inside of him. Despite having no superpowers, he's still impressed by the abilities that he just possesses. A quick answer. I expected nothing less. So yes, Deku accepts the powers and responsibilities, and thus he goes into a training montage, where All Might pushes him to his absolute limit. And finally, after all that training that paid off, Deku finally becomes a hero, and he becomes it in only 10 months. That's pretty impressive, all things considering. Getting all this help from you, All Might. I've been blessed. He's wrong. This is because of his own efforts. But you gotta quit being a crybaby. Anyway, time for the award ceremony, Izuku Midoriya. You know they say there's a big difference between being born with that silver spoon and working your butt off to earn it. Take this to heart, kid. You've earned this power fair and square. It's like a twist right out of a comic book within my reach. Eat this. And Izuku's surprised that he wants him to eat a strand of his hair.
Got to be kidding. No one is stupid enough to believe that.
So after inheriting the quirk, Izuku finally joins the Hero Academy where he meets a bunch of new friends, and they're all gaining points except for him, who hasn't even started fighting yet. Yeah, he really is not doing the best that he can here. Even what's more, that he said that this is completely overwhelming, and that he didn't know that all these other heroes were here, and that there was a full strain of power. What's even more so is that when he sees his friend, or her, a girl that he might or may not have a crush on in the series and may or may not have dated, he basically gets his, I suppose, horny senses is the right word for it, and he rises up to the shower and she basically punches the living being. And of course, he does so by using All Might's quirk, except the problem is, he didn't know how strong that he was. So when he punches back the robot, he in turn kind of breaks his hand alongside of it, but at least he saved her in the process, so you know that gotta count for something. And Izuku did fail the exam, but that isn't until he heard what Uhura said about him. At the end, he was just saying, just 1 point. I heard him. That means you didn't get any points, right? What even can you do? At least however many points you gave up trying to save me, there was absolutely no need to put yourself in danger. You acquired your quirk, and you moved on others with your actions. And thus, yep, Uhura gives him some of his points. So thus meaning that Izuku is accepted into the Hero Academia. As All Might tells him, this will be his Hero Academy, and this will be his biggest moment to shine. As Izuku goes to his first class with a hero named Eraserhead. Eraserhead is a pretty cool concept of a character. Basically imagine anybody who can just cancel your quirk or superpower just by looking at you. Yeah, that's a pretty awesome superpower, surprisingly. And they have a test that they can do, which is a simple one. Just throw a ball. It doesn't take much effort just to throw a ball, which every single one of them can use their quirk. But of course, Eraserhead kind of adds his own fun into it, with that he's going to cancel some of the people's quirks, so his fate is in their hands. So, yeah, he challenges Izuku to basically do this. And of course, it goes as well as probably you can expect. That's Plus Ultra. Use your strength to overcome all. So bring it! So he challenges everybody to bring their A game, even though he's gonna basically cancel out the quirk. The next person up is, of course, Izuku, who wants to do this for his mother and for All Might. And he throws the ball only 46 meters. As Izuku points out, like I just said, his quirk erases others. That's his hero name, Eraserhead. And even Eraserhead points out he was planning to do something. But he managing that he canceled out his ability, and his ability basically gives his eyes eye strain. That's kind of cool. And of course, he tells Izuku to try again, and this time try to fight past his powered neuralizer. And that he does by putting the effect into one finger and just completely launches the ball at 705 miles per hour, or pressure. And Izuku in the process broke his finger. So, yeah. But, needless to say, Eraserhead is very impressed by him and allows him to stay in the school. As the next class is with All Might, Hero Basic Training. This class that'll put you through all sorts of special training and mold you into heroes. No time to dilly-dally. This is today's activity, Battle Training. And for that, you need these. In accordance with your quirk registry, the special request forms you filled out before being admitted. Costumes! And of course, everybody gets to wear a costume very similar to All Might. Looking good is very important, ladies and gentlemen. Look alive, because from today and now on, you're all heroes. And of course, we get to see an impressive lineup of pretty unique suits and costumes. As Izuku is the last one that looks like it. Is he the rabbit from Donnie Darko? No, that's a fucking reference I never thought I'd make on the show. Out of every reference I have made to everything that I have back here, I finally made a Donnie Darko reference. That's an accomplishment, by the way. I never made any other clip or used any other clip from that. That's impressive. So that was My Hero Academia Volume 1, and needless to say, it's really damn good, and it still holds up. The premise and plot of the story is very good. That it's about a superhero city. What kid, especially you or I watching this, didn't want that growing up, especially now? It's so impressive, especially with a bunch of like superhero movies coming out that inspire children. This is a great series for kids. I will mention that. Okay, granted, it's more for teenagers, but you get my meaning. That kids can still look up to this and be like, wow, this is awesome. And I would really recommend it. And Horikoshi Legacy really continue, and it continues in My Hero Academia Vigilantes, I think it's called, which I might pick up at some point. We'll get back into My Hero Academia in the future. But for now, we're going to lay it to rest. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I believe Universe. I want you to keep it on. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon to be notified every single time we can upload. And my question of the day is, who is your favorite My Hero Academia member? Let me know in the comments down below. It could be a teacher, student, could be one of the student parents. Let me know in the comments down below. And my favorite boy is Todoroki. Oh yeah, he is so damn awesome. And that little girl, you know the one I'm talking about, that bought a plushie of him. I'm queuing up just thinking about that. So, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be in the voice. I won't know to keep it on. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. Join me at Twitter in the description down below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, and as always, take care.